Hi everybody, good morning. I'm up earlier than I normally am today, but not that early because it's the weekend. Been really looking forward to this weekend. The nights are drawing in, so 7:30, 8 o'clock, as you know, it's getting dark. So today's video I'm going to focus on, show you the koi pond, what's going there, and then talk about herons. A koi keeper's nightmare. They really are a koi keeper's nightmare. So be vigilant, it's that time of year. They should be big now because obviously they've been breeding and the babies and they've now grown, and now they're obviously probably feeding and wanting more food to their adults. So be really careful. And the reason I mention that is my wife's gone to football today. I'm going to watch Forest away, Huddersfield, and she sent me a photo while I was lying in bed, getting up, with an heron, a racking great heron as well, huge, like a Concorde, and it was on my cabin. So, and then I'm going to finish off at the bottom of the garden, talking about my potential bees that I'm having, just to finish off a few minutes because you might be interested. But anyway, first of all, I'm just going to spin you around, have a quick look at the pond, quick update with that. Not a lot going off. What I have noticed is the now I've got the UV back on, it's only 11 watt. I've noticed my filter's picking up lots and lots of algae, so obviously it's dying off. I noticed it's growing on the walls, that nice carpet's growing on the walls again. I can see a fish now feeding on it, so I'll spin you around while I'm waffling on so you can have a look what's going off in the pond. And so there's the pond. As you can see, everything looks like it's going well. Getting more DOCs, and I think that's because of the algae and stuff being kicked up. And I'll show you my filter in a minute. I've got to give that a good clean out at the minute because I'm getting a restriction of water going through. If you look at my runoff, I've got to look at the way I've piped this up, actually, the way I've done. No, I haven't. That's right. That's right. It's the got me mixed up now. No, it is right. So when I put the UV in my filter setup, the pipe work comes out my filter, comes across, up, UV, pump, down. So I've got you know, and I'm a gas engineer by trade. I'm now a manager for a construction company, so obviously I know all about that stuff. So, and I've noticed that my runoff just keeps, you know, the water keeps reducing after a period of a few days, and then I mess with the pump, turn it off, back on again, and it seems okay. So I think I'm going to have to rejig that pipe work so it comes out into the pump and then sorry, through the UV. So, but I've not got a lot of space in there, so it was obviously, when I did it, it was just to get it in and get it mackled up sort of thing. So yeah, I've got to rethink that. So that's one thing. The fish are doing okay. There's a couple of marks on a couple. This one here, when it turns around, you'll see again, I mentioned it last week, it's got that little raised bit on its side here, but it's not, don't seem to get, there it is, look. There, don't seem to get any worse. So I'm reluctant to get them out and touch them at this point in the season. That fish there as well has got a little bit on its side. And then there is one, oh, and this Achiba has there, look, on that side. So these are existing things that when I had the problems earlier on in the season, these are still existing things that were created from something before. So I suppose the tip here is not to think that actually you've got a new problem. You can link it to an older issue, because I know that some had fluke on them, and I had problems with my water. Okay, so if you look at my previous vlogs, the earlier ones, probably around about the 40s, you will see some videos in there regarding that. Now, so what I might do, not today because I've got a busy day, well I ain't really got a busy day today, but I'm going to do a video, get the video up, do some breakfast, chill out for a bit. Got a football match on I'm going to watch a football match this afternoon. And then that's it, enjoy as much of this sun as I possibly can. So what I might do with those fish, or not what I might do, I'll get my toolbox up here with all my medication and stuff in. And for example, this koi here, I will bowl it, and I will get some cotton bud with some cleaner on it, and just lightly rub it and give it a good clean, and make sure it's clean under the scales and stuff. And if it isn't, I will just get my little brush and just get under the scales, just lightly get under the scales with my cleaner on the brush, and then just put some propolis or some anti-back on it, just to keep it going, and then hopefully going in, we'll recover a little bit more going into winter, and hopefully, okay, so there's about 3 or 4 fish that have got that sort of thing going off. Now my skimmer, I made a skimmer guard. So I've seen these skimmer guards, I've seen one for stainless steel at about £20. So what I have done, I have made my own. I've made my own, just out of plastic, and it's just plastic sheeting from a storage tub cover. Got my Stanley knife, and then I've cut, as you can see, there's one about an inch, well about half an inch slot, 2 on that side and 2 on that side, and then it hits there's about 1/4 of an inch below my water level, and then I've blanked the top bit. I thought I'm not going to cut that because there's no point, because the water will never get to there. I've seen them where you've got a big slot above, but I was going to do that, but I thought, well, what's the point, because I've got my water overflows into me inside my filter anyway, so it's not going to ever get that full. So still got some muck on the bottom, as you can see, not as much as before actually. I'm still throwing the food in where I can, but the muck on the bottom is not as bad. So I keep saying that every week, I'm going to get the pond floor cleaned. So the fish are doing a-okay, no unusual behaviour or anything, no flashing, no sulking, everything's going great going into winter, so I'm looking forward to that. Now one thing that is popping into my mind is obviously when I'm going to put these balls on, the insulation balls. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, I don't know when and all that sort of stuff, but obviously the earlier you can get them on, as unsightly as it is, the more the pond will retain the heat and be more buoyant, and you're not going to get those extremes. But obviously you don't want to look at plastic polycarb and white balls, do you? So my pond water, I'm just looking at it now, I've got a down there, it's 16.3. so just show you the filter quickly. Look at that, that's what I'm on about, of all this dead sort of algae, well, not dead algae but semi-dead algae that's being collected by the brushes. You can see the water level has gone down a bit because of that, so it's time for me, as soon as I've done this video, got it uploading and stuff, I'm going to be cleaning that out. I'm not going to show you, I've done it all before. I'd whack my bottom drain off, that water level goes down, the pump, I run under there, get my pump turned off, and then I take everything out, brush it all down. I've got a water hose here, I've got 2, it splits off from my water mains. I've got trickle fill and 1 hose, and then I've got another hose, so there's 2 in here that I can use. And the second one I've actually put under there, so I can turn it on and it just blasts water into my pond. And then I've got another one here, so it just, that one, see, I've done that because I've now disturbed some muck, but anyway, just for illustration. So yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll open the bottom drain, flood the filter, pull all the muck out of the bottom drain, do that all the time, and then fill it back up. Job done. So that's the pond. If we have a gander down here, and let's talk about herons while we're here. So herons, one of the biggest predators a koi keeper is likely to have, if you have them about, and they are about. Now, if you look at my pond, while I'm up here, we look at it, what I've done, herons are predators. The predators and the stalkers. So they're like prey. They're crafty. They're very clever birds, and they're not like, you know, normal birds. They'll come in and they'll sit on your bird feeder and they'll happily peck away and get the food and come and go, come and go. They're not like that. They will stalk you out like a really good burglar for days, weeks, and they'll wait and they'll build up the plan to come and get into that pond, get access to it. So the key thing is, it's not just about throwing netting on your pond, because you need to consider how the heron's going to get there in the first place. It needs confidence. This is what the big birds, and they're like a good landing area, and they'll walk into the area and then jump on side of ponds and stuff. So as you can see, my pond is near my house. So I come out in the morning, the Westie comes out, she's in and out all day. Look, she's stalking down there now. But herons will come out early mornings. Early mornings, before most people are up out, as soon as the sun, you know, as soon as it gets sort of sun coming out, they'll be out and about. So they beat most people to it. And this is why, you know, they're clever at what they're doing. So if you look at my pond, I used to have a net on it and it absolutely did my head in. So what I've done since is I've kind of structured it so it's kind of built in. So I've got a screen on the side. So as you can see here, I just built this little, I've got a bit of timber, decking timber with a piece of perspex. So that's not going to keep the heron out, it stops jumpers. But as you can see, I build up with plants. So I've got 2 troughs there, so the heron can't get in from this end because it's just not big enough to stand on there. It could stalk up here, but it's not going to land in this area. There's no way an heron's going to land in here. It's just too tight. It's not going to land in here. It's not going to land in here. It's not going to land in here. Now where did we see it this morning? And I'll put a shot up here, an image, just there this morning. And what can you notice about that spot? It's open. So I've seen herons before. I've seen them before fly around, come round and land in a tree over there somewhere, up in that lot. So obviously it's a bit of a flying path and things like that. And what they'll see is, they will see water, bodies of water. And like I say, they won't just come down and sit there and, you know, and just take everything that way. They like to get confidence. So for me, if you can see, my garden and pond is very kind of hidden, if you like, secluded, lots of things, nooks, crannies. So it creates a lot of doubt for that bird. So you imagine, so the only way that this bird is going to get in here is, so if I look at, put it into example, that bird was up there this morning. It's obviously been stalking. Next door neighbour's got a big pond, koi pond at the bottom of their garden, which I'll show you in a minute. So obviously they've had problems before, but I never have yet in 5 years. Never say never now. So obviously it's in the joint, it's looking, it's having its first visit, it's probably spotted it and it's thinking, oh, that's a good, there's fish there, there's a pond there, I'm going to go and have a look. It's got the confidence to land on this big cabin, and it's a big roof, so it's easy for it to come down, swoop down, land, stand, have a look, case the joint, go off, job done. You think, oh yeah, great, no problem. It will keep doing that day in, day out, start casing, start looking up. Well, the dog comes out there, he comes out there, I've got to put, and it'll build up a picture, and it will learn where it could get an opportunistic point in your armoury. Okay, and that's what you've got to think about. So you can see my shadow here. So for me, that heron could, if it's up there, land. I think it's not going to likely to land here, but it could walk and jump down here. It's not going to land anywhere in here because I've got trees, so it won't get anywhere down there. So it's going to land on here, jump on here, or sort of swoop down into here, and then what's it going to do? It'll walk in, it can walk in, prey in, sort of slowly, like me now. This is what they do. Just slowly walk. And I know this might be boring, but this is what they do to give you an idea if you don't know. They slowly do this. Stand. Case the joint. go a bit more. And if they get spooked, they'll be gone. And they've learnt something, haven't they? And then next time they'll do it again, bit by bit. Case the joint out, walk around, and it might think, I can get up here, so let me see if I can jump up here. Jump up here, start casing the joints out, watch where the fish are coming, and obviously they've got long beaks, and then when that fish comes by, smack, hammer it with its beak, try and grab it, and if it's lucky or not lucky, chances are it'll grab it, if not, injure it with its beak marks, and then it's got a fish, and it will eat it whole. Just eat it whole. And then if it's really hungry, it might do that again. Well, the fish will be spooked by then, so they've probably gone down. It might have another bash, but the chances are the fish will be spooked, they'll go down, they'll get disturbed somewhere else, and off it goes. It's been fed for that morning, and it'll go that on another pond. And then it will do it another day, or the day after, but it will come back. Why it's opportunistic, and it got opportunity to get food, it will keep coming back until your pond is empty. Make no mistake. But you've got to weigh things up. So I know that if it comes round here, there's no way an heron's going to want to be coming up here, because as soon as it does, it will knock this plant, and it will, you know, knock this, or, you know, knock things, and it will just, you know, get spooked. So I think my weakness with my pond is here, but there's still obstacles. So if that bird is sort of here, you've still got to look at these things and think, what are they? What's going off? But it will soon realise they don't move. So that is a bit of a weak spot. I've got me shade netting up, look, so from above it does disguise from predators a bit. And then obviously it could walk around here. If it was brave enough, it could come up these steps, walk on this platform, and it could stand on my side and dip in if it wants to, or just jump up here on top of here and dip in. So there's my weakness. That's herons for you, opportunistic. So what can you do about them? Obviously you can net your pond, but obviously netting's not foolproof, because they can still damage your koi. They might not get hold of them and get them, but what they'll do is, you look on videos on YouTube or anywhere, you will see, I've seen videos of herons on top of netting, trying to peek, you know, beak through, and then they'll still damage your koi. You'll get like chunks out your koi on the top and things like that. It's a big telltale sign if your netting's been disturbed. Another thing is, like I say, shade in, cover your pond and close it as much as possible, sides. You could, what I might do, and I've been reluctant to do this, but I could get some fishing line, some heavy duty stuff, and pin it through here to say here. It's about 3 lines, so if it does jump up, it fills the line. There's wood, it's going to get tangled, and then I don't think it's going to come through there. So I could do that here. So from here to there, for example, just try and with some netting, not netting, but some wire, so it doesn't look bad. You can see through it. I know it's there. A bird will come, like an heron, it will see it and it'll think, well, I'm not going to get through there because I'm going to get tangled. You can fishing line your top of your pond. Some people have put supports up in the garden, or they've just fishing lined the garden. So I could get some fishing line and tie it on there and come across to my pergola, for example. So you've got fishing line across the top of your pond. But that's no good if they can land on your garden, because you've got a lot of space, and then walk in. So you've got to look at these things. So that's me and herons there. What else could you do? Guys, herons are protected birds. As much as we joke about it, shoot it, you can't shoot it. So please don't comment with that sort of stuff. We don't want to kill wildlife. You just got to respect them and then learn what they do, and learn to combat them. And you can. So, you know, if you've got a dog, let your dog out in the garden. You might have cats, for example, but then your cats might be a predator for the koi, but you've got to learn where you are. So that's my location there. Look, as you can see, I'm under a damson tree now, so the chances of it can't really get in here. Look, I've got a tree. The wingspans are a good, probably a metre and a half, so they're not going to get in here. It's not going to get in here, look. It's not going to get in here. So if we walk down to the bottom of the garden, it's not going to get in here because there's no gaps. Look, they like to fly and swoop in from the sides on buildings. Now this is where next door have got their koi. That is a squirrel. I've been nursing a baby squirrel and it's done one. But that's what my dog is going mental for. So if I can, if the neighbours aren't out, I'll show you next door's pond. So as you can see over here, the heron has been successful. Can you see why? Look how open that is. So only in the morning when everyone's in bed, so they didn't have a net on this pond. So they've come in, heron can swoop in, walk up, stake the joint as they do, and then come in, and you've got an open path to just sit there, grab your pond, eat them. And this, my neighbour has lost koi in the past. He hasn't done for a while. I sent him a picture of that I've shared with you guys. I've sent him a picture just to warn him that it's at bat again, and he always knows it is anyway, so we've had a bit of a laugh about it. This is where them 6 koi that I got rid of not long ago ended up. If I zoom in, it's nice that I can still see them. So I got 200 quid for them, and they're in a home, so I can see them in there. Here's one with the headlight. If you look at my previous videos, on there. So yeah, so obviously, you know, he's built this pergola now above, plastic roofing so it's not as open above, put the netting on, put the decking over the top of the pond there. That's all pond under there, netted all around. It doesn't look too great, but it does the job. He's put this heron up to think it distracts it, but they don't really work. As far as he's concerned, I still think he's had herons, because they get used to it. They stake the joint out, so they learn that it's just a standing figure, I think. So, you know, don't take a brain surge, you know, at first. Oh, another heron there, oh, I'm going to leave that. Next day, oh, another heron there, I'm going to leave that. And then, it was, you know, they're not daft birds. They'll soon realise that that's just a static thing that's not going to do anything to it. So it might come in and walk a little bit and it's not moving. And then bit by bit, like I've said, the predatory, the stalk, after a bit it'll learn that that thing there, stood there, looks like me, is not going to do anything. So they just crack on. So that's that. So hopefully that heron bit has been a bit of use. I'm going to come down here now, and I've got some news with the beehive. I've ordered from I can't remember what we're called now, hidehives.co.uk. I've ordered a long hive, and I tell you what's been happening. If you look here, I've got a old pine tree that died, and zoom out. This old pine tree has grown, had a ivy grow through it, and it's absolutely in flower at the moment. So there's loads of pollen on there. And if I get closer, it's absolutely loaded with insects, butterflies, hoverflies, the odd wasp, or a lot of wasp. There's a butterfly. Where is it? It's funny when you're through a camera you can't see stuff. It's higher up. There it is. There's a butterfly, and I'll be quiet for a minute just to see if you can hear the buzz of the insect bees and honeybees. It's loaded with honeybees. I've been really wanting to spot a few honeybees in my garden because, like I say, I'm thinking of I'm not thinking of beekeeping. I'm going to be beekeeping. I've ordered my hive. It should be delivered next week. So I'm going to show you in a minute where I want to find a spot for it. And I'm going to try and catch a natural swarm in spring. So it's the wrong time really for getting into beekeeping. So I've got things to do. I'm going to get the hive, get it in, and then get prepared over winter, buy some tools and stuff like that. But if you look at this, the butterflies are everywhere loving it, and so are the honeybees. Can you hear them? I'm just holding my mic off my chest for you. So yeah, if I come back, dogs, next door's dogs come out. If I get myself over here, I'm thinking either my hive here, it's got an entrance, you can split the hive, it's a long hive, so you can have 2 colonies in there. So it's got entrances here on this side and one on that side, and it's a lift up. So you work on the front end, and then the entrances on the side, so you're not disturbing them, working in front of them. So I'm thinking in here, but I've also got to think of a plan to make this area nicer. I normally have fires here, so I'm going to either be here, or I'm going to use this here to build like a bit of a base where the feet are going to go, so it's dry and not in soil, so it's not going to rot up the frame, you know, up the hive. And I'm going to clear this, obviously level it, and then do something with it. So I'm thinking the hive, I was thinking either here, long hive there, so the bees can come out that end and either go straight there and away, or come in here to the side, and then here they can come where I am, get out, and a flight, open flight, and then obviously where the actual open flight would then be here. And I don't know what I'd use with this space, but I might just put it in the middle of this. I'm not sure yet, because then I've got solid ground here, even though it's all collapsed and rubbish. I can just prop up with, build a base for it with whatever I want to do, put the hive on top, and then the bees can go that way, because I'd open this up. I'd probably take this out now, because it was ugly with a shed here before, so I'll probably take that out, so they've got an open space to fly that way, and then one coming in this way, should I have 2 colonies. What I'm planning is, I'm hoping to catch 1 colony in spring, and put it in this box, and then I will leave the other side not used, just probably keep my tools in there and stuff, and keep the entrance blocked off, keep my tools in, and then once this hive grows, hopefully if I get that far, maybe looking it to another colony. So I've got 2 colonies, but that's the future. That's why I've had a double hive. So because obviously 1 hive, the chances are you're going to get into it, you want to expand, or you're going to get a swarm, because your colony will outgrow itself, outgrow its space, and want to split, and then they might sort of swarm here so you can catch them and then recolonise them with a new queen, or put a new queen in this one, because obviously escape this hive, this colony here. So you'd have to grab that swarm, put it in its new home, and then get a new re-queen here. But hopefully there's a queen cell in the old one. But anyway, that's for the future. So that's that. I've got to look. If anyone into beekeeping or knows a bit, what do you think is the best location? And that's it. So let me spin that round. Oh no, I'll tell you what, no. Let's go further. I've taken my shade off my orchid house now, so I want to show you the difference with my grow-on koi. So let's go into my grow-on house. Sorry about the fans, guys. When I walk in here, it's obviously a lot brighter now because my shade netting, it's there now, look, all piled up, and it was across, so that created a lot of shade for my orchids, because they need it, because they don't want to be too hot in here. And I was noticing that the temperature, the outside temperature in the greenhouse, wow, I will show you now, look at this. So it was getting to say, I don't know, 20, 19, 20, and I've took this off now on Thursday, sorry, it was Thursday. And look how much lighter it's got in here, and with that brings warmth, brings the sun, and as soon as I walk in here, it's like warmth, it hits you. And I've reset this when I came in an hour ago, so let me show you this. So inside my greenhouse, it's added at this minute an extra 10 degrees in this greenhouse. So it's 29.3 degrees in this greenhouse, in this building at the minute. Okay, so because of now it's more buoyant, because it's not heavily shaded, because the plants that I grow really like heavily shaded. They like it, you know, quite dull really. They don't want direct sun. But at this time of year, going into autumn, winter, you can have as much sun as possible because it's just not too bad. So I've got to be careful for a week or two, but I've sort of calculated it and says, right, this is it. Instead of waiting to October, November to take it off, I've took it off earlier purely because to get the heat gain in this pond to save me some pennies. So my heater has not been on at all. So if we look at that now, 29.4 degrees in here, and inside my pond is 24.7. I've got this set to 25, my heater, and at the minute it's 25.1. So until that drops to 24, the heater won't kick in to bring it back up. So I just thought I'd show you that. My auto feeder is there. I've changed this a little bit again and tweaked it, as you can see from the last video. So if I try and zoom in here, that's my little auto feeder. That's my top up. There's my overflow. And then let's just finish off with koi and see if I can turn the air off and see if I can see these fish. So in here, as many of you know, I've got the Tancho, Gingring Tancho Goshki. I've got the Adambaya Koi Farm Karashigoi with the Kohaku. And then I've got that little butterfly koi that I bought a year or so ago, that I just thought, I was at my local pet, aquatic place, and I saw it and I bought it just to interest, to see it growing on, just for videos in the future. A bit of one of them purchases. So if I can sort of they're under these plants here. There we go, there's the butterfly koi there. Now they are doing a lot better, they're feeding a lot better now because I've seen them coming up more. Here we go. There we go, that was the Gashiki, sorry, the Karashigoi. When I turn the air off, they don't like it because I think they know they can hear. So I'm not really going to get much in here, guys, I'm afraid, because of the glare as well. I can see them probably better than you. So I do apologise for that, but I'm going to end the video there. Any questions, get them in. I'm going to turn the air back on. I'm surprised at the lack of condensation on this as well. I thought there'd be a bit more. But as you can see, where the air comes up, it seems to, I don't know, push the condensation to the sides, which is quite helpful, because I thought this would just do my nut in with having loads of condensation, so I can't even see at all. There's the Karashigoi, here we go. See, now I've put the air on, look. Can you see, now I've put the air on, they are a lot happier. The movements have gone a little bit slower. So they get used to the environment that they're in, and then when there's a change, they know that something's cracking off. So yeah, so we'll end on that note. Everything's going fantastic in here with these, really is. I'm well happy. I'm hoping to measure them in a few weeks. I've had no problems with the new pump and the new controller. The controller to it's going absolutely great, not touched it. I've got no leaks under here. The actual pump is doing amazing. So I'm really pleased with this setup now. I've got no problems with the koi, no marks on them, doing great. It's been a month now. So what I am going to do with this, I've got that beneficial bacteria that I've got, that tub of, was it Koi Works it's called? I'm going to bring that down here, and I'm going to keep pouring it every week or so in this top tray, so it filters through into this, all this biomedia, because that's loads in there. And I'm going to bring that down here. So I'm not going to use it for my main pond up there. I'm going to just keep pouring a few drops, a few mil in here every few days or whatever when I'm down here. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed all that lot. 35 minutes long, I can see. I'm sorry it's gone on a bit. Maybe the heron stuff could be a video in its own right, it really could. But I hope that's been of use. Hope all of it's been of use. I hope you've been interested. You know, snooping around on someone else's business. We all like a bit of that, don't we? Thanks for watching. Please hit the sub button if you haven't already. If you're interested in any of this stuff, you know, the bees and that in the future, the hive, me getting stung, trying to extract honey, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm going to get all of this on video, so hopefully it's of interest. Again, thanks for watching. Please join the Friendly Koi Keepers on Facebook. Please join the channel. I've got another channel called Friendly Reef Keepers. So if you've got reef tanks, salt water, get into that. I've not really posted that much on here. I've got 2. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Be happy. And I'll sign off from there.